Hello everyone. Today we'll be studying about the topic dominant position and abuse of dominance under Competition Act 2002. Here is an overview for the further topics we will be studying today. First point, introduction. Second point, what is dominant position? Third point, relevant factors determining a dominant position. Fourth point, abuse of dominant position. Fifth point, examples of abuse of dominant position. Sixth point, effect of abuse of dominant position. Seventh point, dominant position versus monopoly. And finally, conclusion. Introduction. Dominant position is a concept in competition law that refers to a market situation where a company holds a substantial degree of power in the market, allowing it to act independently of competitive forces and affect market conditions to a certain extent. Abuse of dominant position occurs when a dominant player engages in a conduct that has the effect of preventing, restricting, or distorting competition in the market. The Competition Act 2002 of India prohibits abuse of dominant position and defines it as any conduct that has the effect of preventing, restricting, or distorting competition in the market. Next slide. What is dominant position? So, dominant position refers to a situation where a single player or a group of players acting together holds a market position that enables it to act independently of its competitors and customers to the extent that it can affect the market in its favor. This can include practices such as price fixing, exclusionary practices, and discriminatory treatment of competitors or consumers. A player in a dominant position may have significant market share, significant barriers to entry, and the ability to act independently of its competitors and customers. Some common examples of dominant players include monopolies, duopolies, and oligopolies. Next slide. Relevant factors determining a dominant position. Relevant factors in determining a dominant position in market include market share, market power, market structure, entry barriers, market definition, buyer power, business practices, economic power, market dependence, vertical integration, market segmentation, and market trends. By considering these factors, competition authorities can determine if a company holds a dominant position in a market and whether its business practices may be anti-competitive and in violation of competition law. Moving on to the next slide, abuse of dominant position. Abuse of dominant position occurs when a dominant player engages in conduct that has the effect of preventing, restricting, or distorting competition in the market. Abuse of dominant position is a serious violation of competition law and can have significant negative impact on competition and overall market efficiency. It's important to note that abuse of dominant position is not automatically illegal. The conduct must be found to have the effect of preventing, restricting, or distorting competition in the market. Moving on to the next slide, we have examples of abuse of dominant position. First point, predatory pricing. Predatory pricing occurs when a dominant player sets prices that are below cost with the intention of driving competitors out of the market. The dominant player has the raise price to above market level, which would have a negative impact on consumers. Second point, tying and bundling. Tying and bundling occurs when a dominant player requires customers to purchase one product as a condition for purchasing another product. This can restrict consumer choice and limit competition in the market. Third point, discriminatory treatment. Discriminatory treatment occurs when a dominant player treats different customers differently for anti-competitive reasons. This can restrict competition and limit consumer choice. Fourth point, refusal to deal. Refusal to deal occurs when a dominant player refuses to sell or supply products to consumers for anti-competitive reasons. This can restrict access to the market for other competitors and limit consumer choice. Fifth point, price squeezing. Price squeezing occurs when a dominant player charges excessively high prices for inputs and excessively low prices for output, with the intention of driving competitors out of the market. Sixth point, limiting production, markets, or technical development. Limiting production, market, or technical development occurs when a dominant player takes actions that restrict the ability of competitors to grow or innovate. This can limit competition and reduce consumer choice. Moving on to the next slide, we have effect of abuse of dominant position. The abuse of dominant position can negatively impact both competition and consumers in several ways, including first point, reducing competition leading to higher prices and less choice for consumer. Second point, reduced innovation and slower technological progress. Third point, reduced consumer welfare, including higher prices and less choice. Fourth point, deterrent effect on entry, making it harder for entrants to enter the market and compete. Fifth point, market foreclosure, where the dominant player restricts its competitors for accessing essential inputs or customers. Sixth point, damage to reputation and brand image. Seventh point, legal and financial penalties, including fines and injunction. These effects can result in slowdown in technological progress and reduced economic growth. Competition law aims to prevent abuse of dominant position and promote fair and open competition. Moving on to the next slide, we have dominant position versus monopoly, where dominant position and monopoly are related but distinct concepts in competition law. A monopoly refers to a single company that has complete control over the supply of a particular product or service in the market, whereas a dominant position, or on the other hand, refers to a company or group of companies that hold a significant market share and have significant market power. A company with a dominant position has the ability to influence market outcomes and may engage in anti-competitive practices, but it is not necessarily a monopoly. Monopolies are form of dominant position, but not dominant positions are monopolies. Finally, conclusion. In conclusion, the concept of dominant position plays an important role in competition law, as companies with dominant position can abuse their market power to engage in anti-competitive practices that harm competition and consumers. The Competition Act 2002 in India provides the framework for regulating dominant position and prohibiting the abuse of dominance. This includes provisions for investigating and prosecuting companies that engage in anti-competitive behavior and imposing penalties and remedies to restore competition and protect consumer welfare. Companies with dominant position must be mindful of their obligation under competition law to avoid engaging in abusive practices that could result in legal and financial penalties. Thank you for watching. Do like, share and subscribe.